Welcome back, beautiful souls, to another episode of Channel Your Light, Own Your Intuitive. For those of you who are new to my channel, my name is Erin Chandler. I'm an intuitive guide and healer, a psychic medium, and I am here to share love, light, and things that I have learned on my journey. I've been called repeatedly to speak on energy etiquette, which is in one of my classes from the Channel Your Light intuitive courses. So the reason why energy etiquette is coming up and is so important, I figured instead of sharing the class content, that instead I would share the most relevant pieces here for you, and as well channel in the divine guidance that goes with it for those of you who are subscribed to this channel. So I'm going to tell you a very brief story. So this story is important because it shows you the fluidness of energy, but it also shows you the container of your own energy and what can and can't affect it, and why something can or cannot affect it. So energy is fluid. Thoughts are energy. Your body has emotions, which are also energy attached to thoughts or outcomes. And our body is our last, I always call the body the last line of defense, because when something is wrong and it's repeatedly going on that same track of something being wrong, your body will actually break down and show you that you've got programs and codes and energetic things, waveforms in your body that are condensing to create physical pain. So for a lot of people, they experience that, but can't really seem to place it. Sometimes working in the energetic fields is the number one fix, or the number one thing to focus on that will actually move the stagnant energy, break up, scatter, displace as the energy has condensed in form. The reason I want to tell you about this specific story is it's related to how we interact with other people, or how powerful our words are, or what happens when we speak words or cast spells or have a specific intention with thought, emotion, and an action, how they can affect someone else. So I want to say about a year and a half ago, I had a reading with another healer, an incredible woman. The reason she came was she started to feel ill for a number of weeks. She was lethargic, she was tired, she had no motivation, she felt procrastinating, her body didn't feel good, she didn't feel good. She intuitively knew that something was wrong. Now, every time she went to a doctor or had something checked, everything came back normal. Meanwhile, because she's a highly skilled intuitive healer, she knew that something was wrong, regardless of being told there was nothing wrong. And the reason she knew that is because the body was telling her. She felt disconnected from spirit. She felt disconnected from herself. There was almost like a confusion or a heavy, dense layer on her. So when she came and started talking about this, immediately spirit and her guide showed up and showed me. And I said to the woman, I said, someone has cast a spell on you. And I gave her all the commands and all the tools that she needed to cast it out, to clear her energy and to bring her back into alignment with her own energy, removing other people's out. Now, here's the thing about telling somebody in a reading, and this is the tricky part about being an intuitive. Sometimes the information we relay and the information we are given from spirit does not necessarily align with the recipient's beliefs, nor is there, sometimes there's no proof of that. Think about it, my friends. Who would ever get proof that a spell was cast on you? So I'm delivering these messages to her, understanding and seeing it being cast upon her, but also knowing that I have zero proof of this. This is the information coming through, and that's what I have to share with you about your illness. So here's why this is important. A lot of times we look for proof of something as if that's the thing that makes it real, but the truth is, it is real. You're looking for proof because your beliefs do not align with what is in front of you, or what you are being faced with, or a new perspective that's opening up. I'm seeing the lotus flower open. Some of you, that is a very sacred reference. The lotus flower blooming, the light inside of you, all of those different things. So somebody on here, I don't know why, but a piece of this message is for you, and you are the lotus flower, and for some reason you are going to cast out anything that ever stood in your way, known or unknown, conscious or unconscious, and you will shine bright like a diamond, bloom so beautifully. Once you hear this message is what I'm being told. And I have one of my guides saying, let me tell you that, listen up, because that is the truth. One cannot bloom if they're in a circumstances surrounded by darkness. They must overcome or transcend or be aware of the darkness in order to rise up, in order for the lotus flower to bloom. Quick message for somebody on here that's very, very clear. So if we go back to the story of this beautiful healer who I gave this information that a spell was cast on her, that's why she's not feeling great. So this healer went home. Her feedback, after following the instructions that I had given her to cast out and clear her energy and remove anything that has been interfering in her energetic fields, she messaged me and said, I feel like myself again. I feel like $1,000,000. I feel back in alignment. I have my energy back. I feel clear. I feel like myself. Being in our own energy when it's cleared of everybody else's is more than a feeling. It's such a powerful and beautiful feeling because we no longer have the interference of others. Now, here's where it gets even more crazy, wild, awesome, proof, whatever you want to call it. And this shocked me. It really shocked me, my friends. It shocked me because I never imagined that I would ever get proof of something like that that's been given in a reading. And a lot of incredible information comes through in readings that is mind-blowing, both for me and both for the people that are receiving it. And that's because the divine sees everything, not necessarily me or the recipient. It's the divine delivering through for the person that's sitting in front of me. Now, here's where it gets amazing. Another few weeks later, I then received a message from this healer telling me that she found messages on a phone from someone that she knows. Someone was hired to cast spells on her. This was written in the messages, and it was directly aligned with the time that she started to not feel well. So after those messages were sent, she started to not feel well and couldn't figure out why. And that's because everything is energy. So energy is fluid. So this woman who is a beautiful healer, who's doing all the right things, making all the right choices, setting all her manifestations up, doing all the work, doing all the stuff that we're told that we're supposed to do, but not being able to understand why she physically feels unwell, or she suddenly has this heavy confusion and she just intuitively knew something was wrong. She said she intuitively knew that she needed to come and see me to be able to pinpoint what it was. Her and I had no idea coming into that this is the reason that she felt the way that she did. So not only did Spirit deliver the information that she needed, whether I believed it or she believed it, it was delivered. It's the first thing. This is how Spirit works. The second thing is she was given specific instructions. I gave her the exact commands, what to do, how to do it, where to find it. She did that and immediately felt better. All the symptoms were gone. All the things that she had experienced that were not in alignment with her energy were removed. She felt like herself again. Third thing, then comes the proof. How often do we get proof of something like that? The reason I want to share this story is so that all of us understand that when we use our words and our energy towards things, we never want to cast a spell on somebody else. That's energy etiquette. If I want somebody to leave me alone, I do not cast a spell on them. I always bring it back into my personal power by clearing my own energy of any energy that is not mine and shielding and protecting my energy. So it's always bringing it back to me. So that's number one, an indicator of personal power. It's always bringing you back into your power so that it's not about what happened to you, but it's about what you can do about it. Or I'm being correction. I'm hearing it's no longer you did this to me. It's I will not allow you to do that to me any longer. Thank you for letting me know that that exists or that happened to show me that piece. So it's always about bringing yourself back into your power. I want to touch on energy etiquette as well in terms of free will. If I have free will, and my focus and my trajectory and all of my intentions are focused on this beautiful goal ahead of me. I'm looking after all the things I need to look after. I am completely focused on that. I have zero other intention that is not aligned with doing this thing. when you cast a spell on somebody else to manipulate other people's energy, because that's actually what you are either attempting to do or are doing unconsciously, unknowingly, is manipulating other people's energy. That to me is a giant infringement upon free will. Now, some of us don't even realize that we have done that. It's just looking back at it and saying, oh my gosh, did I do that? Or how did that work? Or we always want to bring it back to ourselves. So we don't cast love spells on other people or say, I want this person to love me or come into my life, so I'm going to cast a spell on them, or I'm going to manifest that person. All of these different things, it's like a mishmash of tangled up balls of yarn, of quantum entanglement, left, right, and center, of things that we want, and mucking around with that whole context of free will. And this is only in the context of where we're not aware of it. When you're aware of this, you immediately step back into your free will and awareness that you always have a choice. But if you are unaware of what is affecting you, I'm hearing my daughter, she says, here's the thing, Mom, if you're not aware of what the problem is, how are you going to be able to resolve it? If you're not aware that something else is the influence on your energy and what that is, how can you resolve that? You can't resolve that if it's like a blind spot, an energy or something like that. So it's not appropriate to cast spells on other people. A lot of people do that. Usually it's just because I don't think they realize the effect that that can have on another person and their life, how it can actually evolution or slow down the process. For example, if you are focused on, I want to cast a love spell and I want to manifest this person, instead of focusing on the actual person, focus on the attributes. I cast a spell of love around myself. I cast a spell. I am calling in something or someone with these qualities, and feel those qualities. But do not make it about a specific person. That is my rule. And yes, this is my opinion. And this is my opinion based on my experiences and watching how it has affected other people and what other people have done, and people casting that kind of stuff on me. Just because you want something doesn't mean this is the best thing for you, and doesn't mean it is for you. Side note. It is ultimately casting spells and moving energy. It is not in accordance with free will to manipulate and move somebody else's energy against the thing, or changing what it is that they are divinely guided to, or changing their mind, or making them think about you all the time. Those are things that are not in alignment or in integrity either with energy etiquette and the highest guidance. It simply isn't. And this is just awareness. When we become aware of these things and how they can affect us, it automatically can put us into our personal power of, hold on, no matter what shows up, and if it's something that I don't want, I always have the choice to choose or say no. So for some of you who are trying to manifest something, it's almost like there's people around you who don't want you to manifest that. They want you to manifest something else, whether it's because that means they have to change and transform, whether it's because you would leave them behind if you did that, whether codependency. There's so many different dynamics that can play out when it comes to this stuff. I'm simply putting it in the context of energies, fluid energies, and spells. And that's also why we're all being called back to our I am presence, empowered in ourselves, removing the programs, the codes, the energetic layering, any bindings and attachments or accords, things that take away, drain, distort, or cloud our judgment or our awareness of our own personal energy that diminishes our personal power. So this is really a time where we're stepping back into our full personal power and honoring who we are. I'm seeing the pink panther, or sorry, not the pink panther, but this is a pink full moon. And there's a reason why I said pink. So it's the pink full moon is the culmination of rooting into the earthly form, that personal power, which is the black panther. So that's how free will ties into this whole casting spells, thought forms going out into the world energy. And the moment we are aware, we can always do things differently. Maya Angelou, when we know better, we do better. We don't shame the baby for not being able to walk on the first 3 tries. So we also don't want to shame ourselves for something that we did not know. Rather, moving forward, we can change the entire trajectory and understanding and feelings surrounding our circumstances and our journeys and our own power that we actually have. So when we cast spells on other people, or when we direct words at other people, when we gossip about other people, make no mistake, those thought forms and those words and that energy goes out into the ethers. Everything is heard. There is nothing that is missed. For somebody on here, I'm being told to tell you, Spirit heard conversations that you didn't. And that's true. As a human being and a human experience, I don't always know what happens behind closed doors. Spirit does. The universe does. And it requires great trust, to trust that the fact that the universe is guiding us, our spirit guides are guiding us, our higher self is guiding us, even if in the moment it may not make logical sense. So never cast spells on other people. That has always been something I have felt so strongly about. Mind our words, watch our words, be aware of the impact that our energy might have on someone else. And this, I'm being told, is a big learning curve. So for me, myself, my friends, on this crazy, amazing, wild, unbelievable spiritual journey that I have been on, has taken me to places that I never imagined and things that I never believed in prior to that. And I too have had to learn how my words potentially can impact people, being cognizant of the different energies that are associated with different words and different feelings and different emotions and how they're all interconnected. And the most important piece is, as long as you mind your own energy or consistently bringing yourself back to it, because you can correct anything, you truly can, but only when you bring it back into your own personal power to take control, not to take responsibility for the person or the other people or things that they're doing, but to take responsibility for your own energy. This is a very important message as we're on the spiritual ascension process. Those of you who are operating in that fifth dimensional, fifth perspective, the starseeds who are already, I just want to be in the light, I'm just going to rock and roll there because that's my truth and I know that's the truth. As you move along the spiritual ascension process, oftentimes what will happen is we're presented with different facets and different layers during that process. That's part of why somebody's found it so difficult. I'm hearing somebody say, I'm the light and I'm the light, but for some reason, all these other things that are not a reflection of me are showing up. So it's just to be aware, it's not because you're not the light. It's not because you're not on your right path. It's just because you're being called to strengthen your energetic boundaries in order to maintain your light and be aware of other people's energies that are outside of you, because that's really all you're doing. One could never master their energy if they don't have experiences that direct them that way. So for example, I cannot know what it's like to be powerful and in my full energy if I haven't first experienced or have an awareness that something has been taking away from my energy or draining my energy, or I'm giving myself away. So when I look back at my spiritual journey and I look at all these pieces and these facets and these places that I've been, almost every single one of them had a facet of this lesson of energy etiquette, to shield my energy, to clear my energy, and to always bring myself back into my personal power. I cannot control you, but I most certainly have the power to control me. And when I realize or have an experience of somebody else in my own energy, that is actually the bullseye. That is the experience that allows you to A, recognize what's your energy and what someone else is, and B, takes you into a more profoundly strong energetic field of your own. You can't master your energy if you don't have experiences show you what your energy is and what somebody else is. And it can be wild and crazy journey, but an energy etiquette is a very important piece about this. In the next video, please like, share, and subscribe, because I'm actually going to talk about the shortcuts, the commands to draw in to you what you want, and I'm also going to share the commands to cast out anything that has been in your conscious, unconscious, coding, programming, all that fun stuff. I'm very excited to share those tools with you. They have worked wonders for me and all of the people that I have been privileged enough to work with on this amazing journey. So please like, share, and subscribe. And until next time, much love.